It wasn't long after the Greeks discovered fire that they figured it must be the gift of some god. But since there are two kinds of fire, good, the cozy hearth fire, and bad, which burns cities and overcooks your dinner, they decided there must be two fire gods, one friendly, Hestia, the goddess of the hearth, and the other hostile, Hephaestus, god of destructive fire. While nobody liked Hephaestus much, it was still his fire rather than Hestia's that made possible such crafts as metalworking. As a result, cults sprang up in the cities, and since any proper cult requires a god to have an amusing history, Hephaestus eventually became the subject of detailed, though humble, myths. If you believe Homer, Hephaestus was a son of Zeus and Hera, and a very ugly son, which endeared him to neither of his parents. By one account, referred to in Plato's Republic, Hephaestus, despite Hera's neglect, came to her rescue when a jealous Zeus was about to beat her, prompting Zeus to grab his son by the foot and hurl him from the top of Mount Olympus. It took 9 days for Hephaestus to finally strike ground, which was on the Aegean island Lemnos, but when he did, he hit it hard, breaking a leg on impact, and it's a miracle he didn't break his neck. Thus Hephaestus was lamed for life, and in this respect he resembled many Greek smiths, whose lameness stuck them with stationary labor. Neither inclined to return home nor capable of it, Hephaestus toiled in the bowels of Lemnos's volcano, whose smoke and fire were supposed to come from his workshop. There, with the help of the Cyclops, he fashioned Zeus's thunderbolts and other useful items. He also hammered out a little surprise for his ungrateful mother, a devious trap in the shape of a golden throne, which he sent up to Olympus as a gift. Hera was delighted, and she plunked down on the throne, only she couldn't get up again. Even the most muscular gods couldn't pry her off, though Zeus probably didn't try all that hard. Everyone soon realized that only Hephaestus could undo the damage that he had done. At this point, the clever wine god Dionysus took off to Lemnos to get his brother thoroughly drunk and drag him back home, where Hephaestus kissed and made up with his parents. It didn't do him much good, since while the gods required his craftsmanship, they mostly wanted him around to make fun of and laugh at. Jokes about his lameness abounded, and everyone was very amused when Hephaestus caught his wife in an affair with Mars. Whether it was to flee ridicule or simply to expand his growing business, Hephaestus often went to Earth and opened new volcano workshops. The Romans thought Hephaestus, whom they called Vulcanus, had his headquarters on Mount Etna on Sicily, and it was there that he took the Cyclops into employment rather than on Lemnos. Wherever the headquarters were located, the franchise was extensive. Whenever a mountain began belching up fire and ash, it was assumed that Vulcanus had opened a new branch. These stories later gave rise to the Italian word vulcano, the direct ancestor of our word volcano, which was spelled with a U when it was first used in 1613. Volcanoes had been called Vulcans in the 16th century. Vulcanus also lent his name to the process of tempering India rubber with intense heat, patented in the mid-19th century and dubbed vulcanization. The hard rubber product was in turn called vulcanite. It is unclear whether Vulcanus himself ever worked with rubber, but the fact that he worked within volcanoes inspired the name volcanology for their scientific study.